Tomorrow.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Marty 4 here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Marty 4 here once again, here to recap and review, discuss, and all good things of that nature of this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Now, we're going to get right on into it. This week's was left off where we start off where we left off last week with the whole dinner table debacle. Now, this is when, of course, Lyrica came in, talking about, we're not doing this today, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. No, she putting on all the dramatics. Now, she's like, okay, Safari, so what happened? You going around telling Ray J this, that, and the fourth of what we did, so I want to hear from you of what happened. And they've asked Safari, before Lyrica even walked in, like, what happened? So, during this whole situation, Safari is literally doing the two-step, the foxtrot, the damn stanky leg, all around this question. Did you or did you not poke Lyrica in her lady hole? Like, did you smash or did you not? And he's like, look, I said what I said. You know, y'all got the situation going on. Like, just leave me out of it. This, that, and the fourth. And I'm just like, bruh, I don't know why people cannot seem to get the the idea of if somebody asks you a direct question. Even Lyrica said, look, you dancing around the question, bruh. I need you to respond yes or no. If you start doing all these circles, running laps and laps around the question without answering a specific yay or nay, I'm going to assume that whatever the rumor is actually true. Because let me tell you, if somebody told me, or somebody asked me whether or not I slept with somebody, and I know I didn't sleep with that person, and I know I wouldn't and shouldn't sleep with that person, I'm going to say, hell no, I didn't sleep with that person, and that'd be it. But he's going around, first of all, he said, look, we had texts, you know, I didn't mean it to go that far. And I'm just like, okay, bro, you are giving all the signs of being guilty. Now, what was also interesting about this particular scene is that I'm interested to know, I'm not as sure as I was about what the truth actually is, because yes, Safari was dancing around the question, but when Lyrica was confronted, like, yo, bruh, I need you to say what it was, like, in this particular scene, she felt believable, because I felt like if there was really a chance for Safari to prove that it happened, he could have easily maybe shown the dick pic that he sent to her. He could have shown maybe the text messages. Like, she could have easily been, you know, exposed from her trying to be like, look, did it happen? I need you to show the proof, show the receipts. And, you know, he didn't do that and he walked away. So something, it gives me a feeling of doubt that that actually did happen. And he could have easily played it up for the attention, for the camera, for the show. We don't know. Okay, and it just makes it so much more interesting now that she's pregnant now, and the family of A1 is like, they've been separated for some weeks, so when does she have a chance to be pregnant? You know, is this Safari's baby? You know, all these things are circling around. And then this is, of course, the scene where A1 jumps across the table looking like a damn chimpanzee. So when everything, you know, separates, the whole debacle, you know, kind of subsides, Safari goes outside. He's talking with Ray J, talking about that he would have beat that ass. I don't believe that. I really don't believe. I would be interested to see. I could be wrong. I very much could be wrong, but Safari doesn't give me confrontational tease, if you know what I mean. He doesn't seem like the type that would go there. I want to make a Nicki joke so bad. I want to make a Nicki joke so bad right now, but that has been beaten into the ground. I've already did a video on Nicki Minaj and Cardi B on my channel. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We're not going there, but it did cross my mind. But they out there, and I'm just like, oh, girl, child, please. And then A1 is in the confessional talking about he feels a way towards Ray J. And I'm like, I'm glad that Marcus was there to kind of say what most of us were thinking. I don't feel like your anger should be towards Ray J. Now, did what Ray J did was wrong? Hell yeah. This was not the place to discuss this particular happening and try to bring this up. Like, if you wanted to get the people together, you should get the people that were actually involved in the situation. You could have brought A1, Lyrica, and Safari. And if you want to be a mediator, then you should be there. Other than that, Princess, Marcus, Brooke, any of the other people who had nothing to do with the situation, they had no business being in attendance. This is supposed to be a dinner announcing, you know, great things, pregnancies, engagement, happy things. We're not trying to talk about the couple who just announced their pregnancy, their infidelities. That's not what we're here. So that is, for that reason, A1 should be upset with Ray J. But to the point of where he was trying to say, oh, I have a problem with you setting this up and you're trying to put your fight out towards Ray J, you should focus more so on Safari, and you should still keep one eye open at Lyrica, to be honest. She gave me a little bit more validity in this scene, but at the back of my mind, I'm like, I still remember how you were acting at the beginning of the season when this whole thing was going out. You deleted text messages. You said there were text messages, but now they're deleted. And you was throwing this fit, doing all the most. And those are the surefire signs of somebody lying. So, girl, I don't know, but we'll see. So with that whole situation, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, moving on to Tiara's sex tape finally coming out. I do remember when this happened. It was sometime much earlier this year, maybe like February, March or something like that. And I seen the tape. I have seen the tape. Tiara was going in. She was working that thing with two hands. I was just like, all right, well, wear it out then, Miss Marie. Wear it out. But that doesn't mean that you want it to be showcased. And see, that's another thing. I'm not going to judge anybody else. I promise. I'm not judging. I just know for me personally, I don't find the appeal of recording myself with my partner. I mean, some people say, oh, you know, whenever we're away from each other, I can have it to, you know, carry me over to the next time that we do have sex. I mean, with that part, I get it. But in the age of social media where things and files like that can be spread like wildfire within a matter of seconds, I wouldn't trust any video, especially as incriminating as that one, where it is in your face. Like, you see her eyes, you see all of that, and you see the clear penis in her mouth. That is undeniable. You can't be like, oh, that's not me. Oh, it's fake. No, it's all there. We can see it all. So, I don't know. I would not, even if it was only on my device, I wouldn't want my device to get lost. I wouldn't want to, you know, the incidents where you try to accidentally show somebody a regular picture and they swipe to the wrong direction and they see something they had no business. I don't want that either. You know, you just never know how things can get distributed, even if it's only off your own device. So I wouldn't do it in the first place. But I could definitely understand why she got mad. And so she took it to the level of she busted the windows out the car like Jasmine Sullivan. And I was like, you know what? And then when it came to happen, she said, did you do this? I absolutely motherfucking did. You goddamn right. Because you released some revenge porn on me. And he's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And she's like, bruh, you are the only other person that has access not only to the tape itself, but to my Instagram account. It doesn't make any sense for me to do it. And when they were trying to spin, I remember that narrative of, oh, Tiara tried to do this, you know, for herself to be relevant. Well, no, I was about to lie. I was about to lie and say that a sex tape does not bring so much relevancy, but then Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, but, well, maybe, is it for black girls? No, maybe, I don't know. I just feel like a sex tape in the modern age is just not how you want to be reintroduced. You don't want that to be your claim to fame, okay? It barely works out for Kim Kardashian. Luckily, she just had, you know, a mama who was able to spin the narrative about that in her favor. But it just, in general, that it wouldn't make no sense to me that she would do that herself. I really did not, in my heart of hearts, believe that she did that herself. And from seeing the shadiness that Akbar has done on the show, I very much believe that he would do that to be petty. Absolutely. Why not? So it was so strange how when Akbar is confronted with information or just accusations that clearly he did and is doing, he still tries to charm his way out of it, talking about some, I'll forgive you for busting out. You forgive me? you forgive me? Girl, I'm glad Tiara. I'm loving Tiara this season. She ain't with the shit, and I'm here for it. She's making sense this particular go round, and I'm just like, how are you gonna forgive me for when you the one that gave the revenge porn? So I don't know. She walks away from the situation like, look, I need to take some legit action, and she meets up with a lawyer and says, okay, so. The lawyer says, look, he can't even get his story straight because first he said his phone got lost. Okay, and somebody uploaded it. But then again, I guess if your phone got lost, why would they post it on her account? That would be, I mean, usually when things leak, they'll leak through some random account. So, no, that doesn't make any sense. And then he's like, oh, well, you must have leaked the tape. So, did you lose your phone or not? Like, if I leaked the tape, that means that you kept possession of your phone, right? You know, there's inconsistencies. So that's how you know he lying. You know what I mean? That's how you know he lying. So she meets up with a lawyer, and she, you know, basically lays it out like, we can do a press conference so that we can kind of control the narrative of this story. Whether as, oh, you're going to sue him, and everybody's trying to figure out like, oh, why would you sue him? This, that, and the four, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. You do the press conference, let your story be the one, get ahead of the narrative so that that's the story that gets spread out. Good. The lawyer acts like she knows what she's doing. I like her. Next, I want to talk about Jay Will. Now, I'm actually really surprised. Well, I won't say surprised, but I'm really proud to see Jay Will on Love and Hip Hop because I did watch his YouTube videos. I am a fan of him and his character Candy. And I believe that his storyline opens a very necessary discussion of something that happens a lot in the LGBT community, especially those who are like big social media presences, where they've gained, I can't talk today, where they've gained popularity based off of a female character that they play, and that character is, you know, really funny and really out there, and people talk and they laugh about it. There's many instances, like even Joanne the Scammer, I think it's like Not Carlton Banks does it, Cameron J. Henson does Starkeisha, and all of these people, even though they do, you know, these characters, also do other side projects as their male personas as well. And I mean, it's not that they're not popular, but they're never as popular as like their girl character. And a lot of people, and a lot of them I've heard, feel like a way about it being they can't be themselves, or who they really are isn't being valued. They're only being valued by this fictional character that they play. And there's a lot of internal struggle that goes on with that. So I could definitely understand why he doesn't just want to be Candy, and that be his claim to fame, because it's not really him. It's a character that he has to sort of turn on. So I can respect him for wanting to be both sides. Not that he doesn't want to be Candy ever, but he just wants his Jay Will side to be just as respected, if not more respected, than the Candy side, because that's more of an authentic version of himself. That's what I got from that. And he and LaBrittany are doing this audition. And, you know, they in the back, nervous, trying to hype each other up, saying, you gonna get it, this, that, and the fourth, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. LaBrittany goes out there, does a song in some mesh panties and thigh-high boots. and she throws ass. She throws ass, like, you know, I mean, she did what it did, and they were entertained. It had, what was his name? Mr. Ray, another blogger, and Mikey Passante, I believe is his name. And I recognize Mikey because he was the light-skinned judge in the middle. I recognize Mikey because Mikey was first introduced to me by being one of Rihanna's dancers on the Loud tour 8 years ago. And I just remember seeing his face, and I remember like following a lot of the dancers, and I remember I just been following him on social media, and I believe he dances for Britney now. I'm pretty sure, well, is Britney still doing her show? I can't remember. But Britney was the latest gig that he had that I can recall, so I recognize his face. So Britney went out there, she did a great job, they loved her, they want to book her for the show. Jay Will goes out there, and Mr. Ray is kind of looking like, this isn't what I was expecting. And then Jay Will gets out there and does one of his raps, which sounds like, you know, a Power to the People, a very angry Eminem-esque rap that's talking about how people are treating you, but, you know, I'm going to overcome this, that, and the fourth. Granted, lyrically, it's probably very good. It's probably very deep and lyrically powerful, but it wasn't what Mr. Ray was looking for, and I guess for this particular event. And with this, I can see two sides, honestly, because as I'm assuming Mr. Ray is like a coordinator of this event, he has a vision for the kind of atmosphere that he wants to have in his performances, whereas Britney was being, you know, carefree, you know, those people who are, you know, maybe intoxicated can kind of have fun. It's, you know, it's sexy, you know, a lot of lighthearted things. And whereas she doesn't want, and, you know, that's kind of what Candy offers as well, something lighthearted, fun, very risque, but still, you know, enjoyable. And he may not necessarily want the angry Black Power rap at the event for that particular case. But at the same time, playing devil's advocate, he did make the point in the confessional how you're trying to throw an event, talk about, you know, pride and be yourself, but judge me for being my true self. You know what I mean? And it's sort of a toss-up, like you don't know. I can kind of see both sides as to why both sides may be a little bit angry, but I don't know. Tell me what y'all think in the comments, because I'm really on the fence, because I definitely see both sides. And he made a point, like, it's not that it wasn't good, but it doesn't fit this particular performance, which I mean, I don't know. I guess, is it because it's Pride? Because people can go to like a Kendrick Lamar concert, and Kendrick Lamar does Black Power all day. So, and people love his tours, and he's, you know, had one of the highest grossing tours, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a place for that. Ooh, excuse me. But I feel like he just thinks that the LA Pride event that he's trying to put together isn't the place for that. So I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments below what you think. Let's see. I was gonna talk about Brooke being messy, but Brooke just being messy with the whole lyrical situation. Now, again, as I've said in previous videos, I can't stand Rockstar. Rockstar, the more that I see him, he just makes me itch. He does the most. It's so unattractive. It's so unattractive. And so, Ray J goes to him, tells him about the party, and he's like, yo, let me tell you, I got some other news for you. Like, Lyrica came in with her boobs up to her chin, ass leaking out, and she's showing me text messages and da-da-da-da. I'm just like, I can't, I don't, I don't like him. I don't care if he is, like, moving along the storyline in an interesting, I use that word lightly, way, but I cannot. I just can't. And so, this, I'm gonna go, since I'm already talking about Ray J, this boys' night situation that happens afterwards, where it's Marcus, Ray, and was there anybody else? Lucci, Solo Lucci. they're all there waiting on A1 to come. They have the boys' night for pool or whatever. And A1 walks in, dabs up everybody. When Ray J says, "What's up, man?" he gives them the, "Yeah, no." And I'm like, oh, Ray J's like, really? Really? That's how you gonna feel? That's how you feel? You gonna put your anger towards me now? And blah, blah, blah. He just like, look, I just feel like it was mad shady how you put that whole thing together, bro. It wasn't even about that. This, that, and the four, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. And Ray J says something like, hey, bro, I guess the tension's getting high. He says, ain't nothing wrong with a little brotherly fade. And I'm like, wait, what is you trying to say? Like, you trying to say it's good for us to fight and make up later? And A1 was like, look, it's fighting words like, what's up? You know, and I'm like, why is it seem like A1 has been ready to fight, like, everybody this season? He done tried to fight Safari twice. He was about to fight his brother. Now he's about to fight Ray J. Like, why is A1 doing the most this season? But I guess all these speculation about who his wife has been fucking, guys, it has him in his feelings, more or less. And granted, I feel like he should be somewhat upset at Ray J. I just don't feel like it's to the level where you should be fighting him. You know what I mean? Because he's not the one having sex with your girlfriend. Okay? That's allegedly Safari who's doing that. The two people, as I mentioned before, that you should have the most gripe with, potentially, is your wife and Safari, who your wife is sleeping with. Anybody else is secondary. Okay? You can hash that out later. You shouldn't be fighting Ray J. And I don't think Ray J can fight. No, I feel like that's an equal fight. I really feel like that would be equal. I'd be interested to see how that would pan out in real life. Okay, let's see. Have I mentioned anything? Yeah. So the last thing I will talk about is Tiara meets up with Paris. Now this part kind of confused me because Tiara meets up with Paris and she talks about how she's about to get a lawyer and, you know, involved, and she wants, you know, all the support that she can at her press conference. And I was kind of confused as to why Paris was giving off the vibe like, I don't really want to be there because I don't want to get involved with the law. Like, you're not getting involved with the law. You're just attending the press conference like everybody else that's there to hear the story. And if you were talking about not getting involved with the law, you literally ran up in this woman's establishment, place of business, and tried to fight. What are you talking about? So that just threw me. And I guess she was like, well, there was an interview where Tiara recently did talking about how much she loved this man still. I don't remember that, but I mean, if that's the case, that is a little strange. But not to the point where you should not be willing to come and support me at my press conference about me being, you know, a victim of these, I guess a version of what, not sexual assault, sexual abuse. I forget which category the lawyer said it falls under. Either way, you should be there for me. And she's asking, where is Nikki? And he says, well, whenever it's time for Nikki to be with the gossip and all the messiness, she's right there. But when it comes time for the real stuff, she's not around. I'm like, I think we'll probably expand more on that next episode, because a part of me feels like, well, if you did see that this whole revenge porn thing had came out, I would expect Nikki to at least reach out and be like, hey girl, what's up? Are you okay? What happened? You know, something. So I think next episode they get into it so we can kind of figure out what was and what was not said. But I mean, if that's the case, that is bad friend. Like, they're both looking like really bad friends as far as, you know, not trying to attend the press conference. But I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. That was this episode of Love and Hip Hop. The season is still really good. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm still enjoying being back, giving out constant videos every week. If you haven't checked out my Insecure video, that is the most recent video before this one. Make sure you spread it out amongst all of your family and friends. Tap your neighbor. Let them know. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.